I've had a number of people tag me and send me this article in DMs telling me to get a load of what is happening behind the scenes in news media and how a coordinated effort is being put forward right now trying to push a false agenda against me to perpetuate a fake news narrative from Alyssa Mercante. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. A news story got published from a website I've never heard of before in my life called apparently the Brooklyn Daily Eagle, which sounds about as legitimate as any kind of made-up news website that you could think of. But this one's been around for a while. Apparently it's changed ownership, changed hands. I don't know. I don't really care to look into the background of it because a brief look shows that they have no interaction on their Twitter. No one really cares about them. It's just one of those fly-by-night news sources pushing out articles to push propaganda. But there is something very curious about this article that I wanted to take a second and point out because I find it fascinating how they didn't even name who wrote this article when they decided to push a slander piece against me. Hit that subscribe, give me a like, and check out smashjt.com for the full article breaking down this article, because you really need to take a step back to realize exactly how this works behind the scenes and how insidiously nefarious it really is, using a fake news outlet to push a fake story and trying to get actual news outlets to pick up on that story so that you can reference said story in the court of law. On December 13th, 2024, a publication that I'd never heard of before called the Brooklyn Daily Eagle published an article titled GamerGate Lawsuit Between Video Game Reviewers Hits Brooklyn Court, and it presented a blatantly biased and one-sided narrative about the going-ons in the legal dispute involving myself and Alyssa Mercante. The article goes out of its way to portray Mercante as the victim of harassment, citing her lawsuit allegations to paint me as the evil bad guy figure, while in the same breath it was all conveniently omitting the crucial facts and evidence that expose the real dynamics in this case. It's fascinating to see how fake news runs in real time when an agenda is at play. And the first thing you notice in this article is that there is no author. It just says Brooklyn Eagle staff, which is curious because when you dive into how it works at the Brooklyn Eagle, well, anyone can really be a staff writer if you submit and contribute an article there. Why would a publication fail to provide any kind of byline for such a contentious piece? Well, let's be real. It's pretty obvious once you start reading it. The outlet deliberately hides the identity to shield them from scrutiny. Considering that the Brooklyn Eagle is based in close proximity to where Alyssa Mercante lives, it's really not out of the realm of possibility that the author may be a friend or associate of hers, or even potentially Alyssa herself writing the article, submitting it to be published. Although this is all speculation on my end because I have no proof of it except for what the article states and the agenda it's pushing throughout it. It's just very convenient. The article is riddled with selective quoting that amplifies Alyssa Mercante's angle while completely ignoring my side of the story. Going so far as to source Alyssa Mercante's Sweet Baby Inc. Doesn't Do What You Think They Do article that has been proven to be false multiple times, showcasing that article as fact and then dismissing my angle as a conspiracy theory for daring to use facts to disprove her angle. The claim is presented to the reader as fact, without any attempt to verify its validity or provide evidence. It doesn't showcase my constant rebuttals using her own tweets as evidence against her claims, or anything of the sort. The article does the same exact tactic over and over again, failing to mention that much of what Mercante alleges as defamation are really, in the end, just statements she herself has made publicly on Twitter. Mercante's own words, now that she has conveniently deleted, were all part of my coverage about her, which I've documented extensively in previous coverage. The very same coverage that she now conveniently uses to say that I'm covering her too much and that somehow became harassment because she doesn't like the truth getting out there about who she really is when she was in the public eye at Kotaku. The article goes out of its way to gloss over, even outright ignore facts about Alyssa Mercante being caught red-handed deleting extremely incriminating tweets, where she has openly admitted to some not so great or even legal behaviors with a sharp attitude. Mercante has made multiple public statements on Twitter regarding her personal views and behaviors, which were later used as evidence in the case. Instead of addressing any of it for fair perspective, the Brooklyn Eagle article instead allows someone here to try and rewrite the narrative completely unchallenged. And sure, it's a no-name news site. Who cares about this? Not a big deal. Why should I even talk about it? Here's the problem, and why I really wanted to bring attention to this, is it's very nefarious and insidious how they work. They try to create a narrative, create a story, push an agenda, right? Even if it's a no-name news site. But then you have people pushing it, sharing it with other news outlets that may be, I don't know, somewhat more respected in the public sphere, and that these larger outlets might be desperate for a story and see this, pick up on it, report on it as fact, sourcing the Brooklyn Daily Eagle, and then the Brooklyn Daily Eagle story becomes solidified fact at these other news outlets, and then Alyssa Mercante and her legal team in a court case could start referencing those much bigger outlets saying, look at this harassment campaign, it's even being reported on publicly by these major news organizations, and look how bad this Smash JT guy really is. The article perpetuates a victim narrative for Mercante without any kind of serious or critical examination to balance any of it out. By portraying me as a GamerGate villain and framing Mercante as a victimized party, the publication tries its darndest to vilify me, while at the same time excusing her very lengthy, documented actions throughout the past year especially. The selective framing throughout it serves only to undermine the legitimacy of the legal proceedings and fuels public bias, as much as they can at least. The article even goes into talking about Hassan and anti-Semitism and what the lawsuit is alleging me of and all these things that I supposedly said or stands that I took. And I'm like, I never said any of this stuff. I never said anything about her being anti-Semitic. I never said anything about Hamas or Hamas. I don't even know how to say it. This is not my realm of expertise and I steer clear of it. I have no documented information on this because I've never talked about it. I never took a stand on any of that. All I did was talk about how Destiny posted how Alyssa is clearly a simp for Hassan. And a lot of people reported on that. But apparently me reporting on Destiny, a much bigger channel, talking about her simping for Hassan, is apparently my fault? Why isn't she going after Destiny and suing him? Why is she coming after me? Why isn't she going after anyone else that reported on this? Oh, that's right, because it doesn't fit the narrative. The article begins like it's trying to relay information based off an alleged lawsuit and references the lawsuit for the claims being made against me. And honestly, I understand that and don't have a problem with it. The issue comes in when the article starts leaning into opinion and starts making claims about who I am, what I stand for, and assumptions about what I've said, when none of this is even listed in the lawsuit, and it's clearly someone with an opinion and an agenda trying to sway public opinion. The article fails to mention that Mercante has publicly admitted to the very behaviors that she now claims are somehow defamatory. Her deleted tweets, which I've extensively archived, provide everyone undeniable proof of her own hypocrisy. The article goes on by selectively framing information. By only quoting Mercante and omitting anything from my side, the article skews the narrative in her favor. Where is the analysis of the evidence I've presented? Nowhere to be found, because that wouldn't make for a good agenda being pushed. Don't let facts get in the way of a good story. Without putting the author's name, there isn't any accountability for the clear bias in this piece. The anonymity of the staff attribution raises serious ethical concerns as well. Pair that with how this publication allows for user submissions, it's gotta make you wonder, where did it come from? What are they hiding? Why can't they just tell us who wrote this? Oh, okay, because they don't really care about who wrote it. They care about getting a false narrative out there and hoping, by the grace of some dumb luck, that a larger outlet will pick up on this so that they can source it in the future. I see exactly what they're doing, and I see right through them. The Brooklyn Eagle's article isn't about journalism. It's a one-sided hit piece designed to vilify me and promote Alyssa Mercante's false victimhood narrative. By selectively quoting Mercante, ignoring key facts, facts and omitting my documented evidence, the publication has decided to engage in a slander piece against Smash JT rather than any kind of balanced reporting, which at this point, should anyone really be surprised with how the media operates? This lawsuit is about holding people accountable for the words and actions that they have used. Unfortunately, the Brooklyn Eagles bias coverage here only serves to further muddy the waters and perpetuate falsehoods. I encourage everyone to review the evidence that I've documented extensively in my videos and draw your own conclusions for who this person, Alyssa Mercante, really is and how she's going to be in for a rude awakening when this lawsuit ever gets to court, if it ever does in the first place. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. If you guys want more information, check out smashjt.com for the full article. I will link it in the description below. If you appreciate what I'm doing, hit that join button. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, you stay smashing.
I am smart, hot, slutty.
Slutty. Slutty.
And if you have a problem with that, come fight me. Physically.